Hey, True Believers, England Teen here with another batch of new comic book reviews. We've got Draculina #1 from Dynamite Comics. We're talking about Justice League. Now this is the beginning of the end for the Justice League from what I understand, and the main book of the night we're going to be talking about is Iron Fist #1. So sit back, relax, and let's get this party started. And yes, Alyssa Wong's Iron Fist outing is going to be talked about first here. I gotta tell you, I was a little bit nervous. I'm very nervous about anything that's being done at Marvel nowadays, and especially DC, to tell you the truth. And when they say, oh, we're gonna swap this character, I really get nervous because I do not trust modern day writers to write caricatures if they're not, in all honesty, straight white males. They write caricatures. But here, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to say we've got full-fledged characters. We've got Danny Rand here. We've got the new kid. Sorry, I don't remember the name, but I haven't been reading him for 40 years, so please forgive me. But Danny Rand gets attacked by a demon, and he's fighting him off. Doesn't have the Iron Fist power anymore, but the guy with the Iron Fist powers jumps in and saves him. Now, why and how he knew that the demons were attacking Danny Rand at that moment, they do not explain. But Danny Rand immediately steps in, trying to be the kid's mentor, and the kid is just having none of it, and he runs away. But Danny Rand notices that his Iron Fist powers are Iron Fist powers deactivate, basically, is what's going on. And this is something that they kind of play up. They actually allude to the fact that this kid may not really be Iron Fist, which will be interesting to see how Danny Rand, I'm going to just go on a limb here, tries to mentor him, or what I would love to see is Danny Rand get jealous and not become a villain to take the power back, but just kind of want to steer the kid towards that while he's teaching him. Not like, oh, you don't know how to handle this, you can't, not that kind of thing, but I would like to see a little bit of jealousy. This is a guy who could do a certain thing for a long, long time, which now he can't. Now imagine like all of a sudden you can't walk properly. You know, I'm an older guy. I'm 50. I've learned that I cannot do the things I used to be able to do when I'm 20, and sometimes it saddens you. And I would kind of like to see that going forward with the Danny Rand story as we're getting to know this new kid. And it's an interesting story so far. Good job on you, Alyssa Wong. I do wonder, however, as my friend Eric Backissue Breen brings up, is this actually as good as I think? Or is it just because so much other stuff at Marvel is just kind of crap? Alrighty, let's talk about this Draculina #1. Obviously, you know what they're trying to sell. Well, it's Vampirella. You know, it's the same kind of thing. So all the covers are just like, hey, look at her in this Band-Aid. Isn't that awesome? So, okay, fine. This is actually Vampirella's outfit right there, but black. So anyways, tell me that Christopher Priest is writing a book and I'm in. At the very least, I want to give the first issue a try. Now, I did with Vampirella. I was kind of disappointed. I'm a huge Christopher Priest fan. I've been reading his books for, as I said, 40 years at least, right? And so, once again, I'm very excited. Anytime he has not done enough bad to offset the good that I find in his writing. Here, it's kind of like eating a rice cake in a 100% comfortable room that you just don't know the temperature of. I mean, this is bland. I'm sorry. I wish I could say it was horrible, or I wish I could say it's fantastic. But unfortunately, I read it, but I don't know if reading is the proper way to describe. I consumed it, like I went through, and it really did feel like I was going through the motions. So we have Draculina and this girl who are switching bodies. This girl wakes up and there's a guy in her bed, and she says, oh, okay, Draculina took care of it. And we find out that they switch bodies at times, to the point where there's a flashback at the end. The cliffhanger ending is not really a cliffhanger, but you see Draculina in a car and she wrecks and then switches the bodies, so the little girl takes the brunt of the damage in the wreck. I thought that was clever, but unfortunately they already spoiled the fact that the little girl's going to be okay by saying, oh, hey, remember what happened 2 weeks ago? Why leave on a cliffhanger like that? It just, I don't know. Maybe to be different. overall, this isn't an offensive book. It's not an offensively bad book. It's just there. If you like this kind of thing, I think you're going to like this kind of thing. This is not going to grab any new readers and say, hey, you must read us from now on because we're the most awesomest book in the world. It's just merely fine. Next up, let's talk about Justice League number 72, Leagues of Chaos Part 1. From what I understand, isn't this the end of the Justice League? They're going to die, and then we're going to get the new Crisis coming up. Okay, so let's talk about what we've got here by, I can't even say his name right, Brian Michael Bendis. Brian Michael Bendis, to me, at best, writes good beginnings. Yeah, seriously. I've read a couple of books where I'm like, okay, you know, hey, maybe this is the time we see peak Brian Michael Bendis. Maybe this is the time where he takes us back to the quality of his writing, where we got Ultimate Fantastic Four, which is an incredible story, if you ask me. Maybe that's it. In all honesty, I think he reaches heights he hasn't seen in a long, long time with Justice League number 72. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. However, he has been so low in the gutter that he's still trying to climb himself out here. I don't think this is a fantastic book. I think there's things to enjoy about it. I think it's good to set up. I don't know why they're drawing everybody. Can you explain to me why Black Adam looks like he's 15 years old? If I missed something here, could you please explain that? Why everybody looks like they just got out of high school when they should look 30s, 40s? And that's just me. I understand every artist's interpretation is different. The story itself it's mostly set up, and it's mostly, as you see on this page, a lot of exposition, a lot of dialogue. It's a lot, and I don't mind a lot of dialogue if it isn't repetitive. I don't need to say, to have them tell me, oh my gosh, Zatanna had a flashback. Really? You had a flashback? Did you have a flashback? I had a flashback. Okay, let's turn the page. Oh my gosh, there is a flashback. You have a flashback. I got a flashback. And it's that way over and over and over. And this is something I've noticed also with Brian Michael Bendis modern books, because I remember the Future State Legion of Superheroes was exactly that. It was like 3 pages just repeated ad nauseum. And that's what we're getting here. We're getting the same stuff they tell you about the Lord of Chaos here at the end of the book, they tell you at the beginning. So while it's okay, while it's better than your average Bendis book, it still has a mile to go. Okay, let's talk about this one. This is the last book of the day, I guess. Justice League versus the Legion of Superheroes by Brian Michael Bendis. Why did I do this to myself? Why did I put myself through this? Now, this is issue 1. I'm pretty sure issue number 2 is already out. I'm behind on my comics in some cases, so you will see some of these older books pop up as the extra, just so I could get my 2 cents in. I'm a huge Legion of Superhero fans, but Brian Michael Bendis is the only incarnation that I have never collected. Seriously. I read the first few issues. I couldn't stand it. I cannot stand it. So here we have the Legion. They're out dealing with a crisis. Something happens with Triplicate Girl. One of them goes missing, and there's a bit of a crisis with it. And they end up finding out that Triplicate Girl has gone into the past. And so the Legion of Superheroes go into the past. And as I usually say, all kinds of higgledy-piggledy begins. Once again, damn near everything I could say about the Justice League, I could say here, except it's not as good. Like, the characters aren't relatable. He decided to change everybody to the point where it's useless to even kind of connect with them. And I couldn't connect with these characters. I can't connect with this version of the Legion of Superheroes. I wish I could. I want to. I am actually active in my desire to want to read the Legion. Unfortunately, I just couldn't. And the more I did read of this Legion, the more I wanted to not. This bit where the Legion meet the Justice League and they're in the past, and it's basically a whole bunch of heroes meeting their heroes, I kind of enjoyed. But beyond that, ladies and gentlemen, if there's a book that I am probably going to skip issues 2 and through, it's this one. It just doesn't live up to what I know the Legion of Superheroes can be. So there you go, kids. Those were the reviews. Let me do a little summary, and as I'm summing up, I'm going to have the books in line from the worst to the best of the video. And to no one's surprise, the Legion of Superheroes is the worst of this particular batch. It just did not resonate with me whatsoever. And in all honesty, I want my old Legion back. I'm willing to see where Draculina goes, but for now, it was kind of dull. So I don't know it's got to improve next issue. I'm not going to give it a third issue. Next up, while I did have some troubles with the Justice League number 72, overall I thought it was entertaining, and the story, even though it's long-winded, was at least intriguing enough for me to want to see the next issue. And the clear winner, because it's the only clear win of the batch, is Iron Fist number 1. This new character is interesting. His dynamic with Danny Rand is interesting. I'm liking the world behind him. Everything is on point with this book. So there you go, gang. Those are my opinions. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. And if you don't mind, why don't you go on over to the video that's popped up here. Learn a little bit about the first appearance of the Peacemaker. We do a little in-depth look at Fightin' 5, number 40. So click on it and get that party started. And as always, thank you very, very much for watching.